Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Did You Know featuring Riven. Please do not forget to throw in a like if you did enjoy this episode and also check out the previous episodes, but without any further ado, let us jump straight into her abilities. We all know and love Riven's Valor, which is her E ability, because it can go through things like Anivia's Wall or even things like Jarvan's Ultimate. However, keep in mind that it cannot go through terrain such as the walls around Summoner's Rift. As of a recent patch, there has been a buff to Riven's Q ability, which increases her already great mobility, and this is pretty much letting her jump over walls and obstacles on the third Q strike. Here's another interesting one. Broken Wings Dash is very useful when it comes to trying to speed up your movement speed, trying to maybe run away, chase someone, or just get back into the lane. But did you know that the Q speed that it offers you in the movement speed is pretty much worth about 475 move speed? This means that also, if you are around 550 or over base movement speed, such as maybe getting it from home guard boots or something of the sort, using the Q to try and move yourself faster will actually end up slowing you down instead. Riven has one of the strongest passes when it comes to lane pressure and being a bully. But did you know that the passive will refresh the timer on the stacks that you have waiting to be used, such as if you gain another one or if you use one? This is important to remember because it will help you plan out your assaults in the laning phase so that your passives won't drain out. Here's a pretty interesting one. Riven's Q will not pop Silver Spell Shield if you hit her with the first two strikes of the Q. However, if you happen to hit her with the third one, the one that knocks up or the one that lets you go over obstacles now, it will pop the Spell Shield. However, she will still take the damage. Riven's passive will not apply critical strike damage on top of it. This means that if you happen to auto attack with the passive going on and that auto attack happens to be a critical strike, the critical strike damage will get applied to your auto attack damage only, but then your passive damage will get added on top of that damage. Riven's E ability, Valor, is her primary defensive ability which grants her a shield. However, remember that if you are snared by something like Morgana's snare, you cannot use it mid-snare. An important thing to remember with Riven is to auto attack in between each Broken Wings strike, because each Broken Wings animation will actually reset the auto attack timer. Another point to remember with this is that Riven's auto attack animation is a lot longer than it actually takes for the damage to go through from her auto attack. This means that after you use the Q, make sure to issue a new attack command on your target in order to reduce the auto attack animation that Riven has. This is more commonly known as attack move. Another cool thing and really important tip to remember with Riven is that the cooldown on Broken Wings starts after the first time you use it rather than when you expend all three strikes. Riven's ultimate increases her AoE on her Q and her W along with the auto attack range increase. However, it does not affect Valor in any way. Also, keep in mind that on top of Wind Slasher's short cast time of about 0.25 seconds, there is also a 1 second delay before you can actually use the Wind Slash after activating Blade of the Exile to begin with. Alright, enough about her abilities. Let us jump into some really cool facts and lore about Riven. Riven was created by someone named Zypherus, who also made Fizz, Renekton, Nautilus, Orianna, and Lulu. Riven was also voice acted by Cristina Valenzuela, who is also a very popular video game and anime voice actress. Mike Lego is the animator for Riven. He's also the one that animated the kid from Bastion. At first, Riven's backstory was her being a Demacian, then it got changed to her being a Noxian. Riven's backstory is somewhat relatable to Aragorn from Lord of the Rings because he too got exiled with a broken sword, yet he had to get it reforged as well in order to continue his path to defeat Sauron. Zypherus stated that Riven's team that himself and Riot were going for was, quote, "Noxus is broken, but through my will in the fight, Noxus can be remade." Riven's name and title might be referencing to a game series named Mist, where the second game was called Riven and the third installment was called Exile. Did you know that the word Riven means torn apart or broken asunder? Riven's design seems very similar to Cloud from Final Fantasy VII, as her ratios on Broken Wings are 0.7 each, and 7 of course being a very important number in Final Fantasy VII. Riven's skill set also seems to be inspired by Marth or even his brother Roy from Super Smash Bros. Melee. Here's the comparison of a moveset that relates. To further back this up, she was codenamed Marth during her design phase. At first, Riven's title was the Exile, then it changed to the Shattered Exile, and then it went back to the Exile. Redeemed Riven can be referencing her backstory in which she was in exile from Noxus. This happened during a Noxus vs Ionia fight where Riven and her forces were surrounded. Following this, Singed launched a biochemical terrors and Riven watched everyone fall around her, both Noxian and Ionian forces. From this, she was presumed dead by Noxus and she decided to start anew by shattering her sword and trying to sever the ties between the past, though she could still not forget what just happened. Battle Bunny Riven was created based on the community's suggestion Bunny Girl Riven from threads and artworks created. Riot first featured it as an April Fool's joke along with Earth Day, making it viewable in Riven's in-game profile for only the one day and then later removing it. Here's a really cool one. Battle Bunny Riven's splash work has Talon, Vlad, Urgot all within the artwork, kind of hidden. However, there's also 2 Easter eggs of unreleased content, one of which being Tyrant Swain on the left and Zack somewhere near the back. You can see his blobs. Riven's dance is based off of the water dance of Bravos from Game of Thrones. Click on the screen now to see it. Riven's passive used to be called Art of War, which can still be seen on her champion spotlight. Riven gains an additional taunt, joke, many movement, and attacking quotes when she is in her ultimate form. The reason Riven had no art spotlight back when they still made them was because her splash art was revised 4 times before releasing her. Alright guys, and that marks the end of this episode of Did You Know featuring Riven. Please don't forget to throw in a like if you enjoyed this episode. It helps me quite a lot and inspires me to make more of these. Also, if you have any suggestions on who I should bring into the next episode, please write it in the comments below. As you can see, the previous one was suggested by Riven herself, apparently. As well, if you have any suggestions on how to improve this series, also write those in the comments. But again, I hope you guys really enjoyed this episode, and I'll definitely see you next time. Peace!